One of the places I want to visit most in my life is Mars. That's not exactly happening anytime soon. But the second place on my list, Antarctica. A very specific part of it, actually. And I'll explain exactly why in a moment. But first, a question people often ask. Is it even allowed to go there? Some claim it's completely off limits. Antarctica is one of the most fascinating places on Earth. It's known as the seventh continent, but by size it's actually the fifth, nearly twice the size of Australia and larger than Europe. I probably don't need to tell you it's the coldest place on the planet, but it's also the windiest and the driest. Yes, driest. Technically, Antarctica is a desert. There's even one spot where it hasn't rained in over 2 million years. The driest place on Earth. And that's exactly where I want to go. The McMurdo Dry valleys cover around 4,800 square kilometers, and there's no snow there at all. The reason is a phenomenon called katabatic winds. Cold air from the upper atmosphere descends nearly 10,000 meters vertically, generating winds that can reach 320 kilometers per hour in this region, stripping away every last trace of moisture. Scientists have found animals there that died hundreds of years ago and were naturally mummified by the conditions. So can regular people actually visit? 200 years ago, in 1818, the answer would have been a hard no. Not because it was forbidden, but because no one even knew the continent existed. Interestingly, you could have asked, can we go to Mars? 400 years ago, because civilizations from China to Rock had been observing the planet for thousands of years, and Galileo studied it through a telescope in 1610. Yet that same Galileo had no idea that the fifth largest landmass on his own planet existed. There were myths and theories about a southern continent, but it wasn't until a Russian expedition in 1820 that anyone actually laid eyes on it. The South Pole itself wasn't reached until 1911, just 58 years before the first footsteps on the moon. So this is a place we still know very little about. And the less we know about something, the more opinions tend to fill the gap, especially conspiracy theories. Antarctica has become a hotspot for every kind of speculation. Mysterious giant structures, alien bases, and of course, for flat earthers, it's the icy wall surrounding the entire disk. The common thread in all these theories is that something is being hidden there, and that visiting is either forbidden or impossible. That second part is simply false. Going to Antarctica is not illegal. You don't even need a visa. It's the only continent on Earth with no countries inside it. Politically sovereign to no one, like the moon or Mars. If we go, it belongs to all of us. If we don't, it belongs to none of us. During the colonial era, nations could claim lands simply by reaching them. In the early 1900s, Britain tried to lay claim to Antarctica based on its expeditions. France, Norway, and Germany soon staked their own territorial claims. That continued until 1956, when New Zealand, itself built on some of the last discovered land on Earth, argued that Antarctica should belong to the world. The Antarctic Treaty was signed in 1959 and has since been accepted by 53 countries. Under the treaty, no military activity is permitted, no mining, no nuclear operations. Only scientific research is allowed, and strict environmental rules are in place, including, yes, regulations about how human waste must be handled to avoid contaminating the ecosystem. It sounds absurd, but it's completely serious and surprisingly costly. What the treaty does not do is ban visitors. You can travel to any part of the continent whenever you want, even to the South Pole itself. So if it's one of the places I want to visit most, why haven't I gone yet? Honestly, the reason is pretty simple and a little embarrassing. It's expensive. If anyone has a connection at a polar cruise company, I'm open to a discount. At any given time of year, at least 1,000 people are living on the continent, mostly scientists conducting research. If you open Google Maps and search Enon Peak, you'll find it. Now look about 100 kilometers north of it. You'll notice a dark patch cutting through all that white, an unexpected shadow on a continent otherwise buried in ice and snow. That's the McMurdo Dry valleys. Why is this my second most wanted destination? Because it's genuinely mysterious. Not in a conspiracy theory way, but in a scientifically fascinating way. It's the driest and coldest terrain on Earth's surface. According to a 2016 study, it's the first and only place on our planet where even microbial life is absent. That's why scientists have officially designated it the most Mars-like environment on Earth, the place that most resembles the place I most want to go. I can't get to Mars yet, but I love the idea that I might be able to get to the closest thing to it. No hidden aliens have turned up in Antarctica so far, but there's an extraordinary environment down there waiting for scientific exploration, and visiting is not forbidden. Neither is dreaming. Neither is thinking. The only real obstacle to doing meaningful research, there is the one inside our own heads. Colonizing Antarctica is prohibited. Exploring it through science is not. And if we can get past that mental barrier, who knows? Maybe someday, a corner of that mysterious valley, 100 kilometers past Inland Peak, will carry the name of someone who dared to go.